There are various types of dissociation and various symptoms within each type of dissociation. And honestly, some degree of dissociation isn't abnormal. For instance, if occasionally when you are driving somewhere, you get lost in thought and you don't remember the drive, that happens to most people. But when you have increasing symptoms of dissociation and it's interfering with your relationships, it's interfering with your work, that's when it becomes problematic and it's time to seek help. Here are 13 of the most common symptoms of dissociation. One would be you drive somewhere or you have a conversation and you don't remember it. 2 is you do something and you don't remember it. 3 is you don't remember how you got where you are or putting on the clothes that you're wearing. 4 is you feel separate from yourself, like you're outside of your body. 5, you forget important life events. 6, you feel like people or things around you aren't real. 7, you feel like your body doesn't belong to you. 8, you feel like you're living a past event. 9, you sometimes have difficulty differentiating between real experiences and dreams. 10, you stare off into space and you have absolutely nothing on your mind. 11, you talk out loud to yourself. 12, you're not sure if you said or did something or you just thought it. And 13, you feel like things and people around you are far off or kind of foggy. The more symptoms that you identify with, the more concerning it is and the more dissociative you are. The 5 types of dissociation start with dissociation, which is that disconnection between two things that we expect to go together. So an example would be like emotional numbing, where you are presenting in one way but feeling a different way. The second one is dissociative amnesia, where you forget parts of your life, conversations, they're just completely gone. Microamnesias would be more like you forget saying something to somebody or having a short conversation. Derealization is this sense of looking through a veil or things being foggy or not real around you. 4 is depersonalization, where you don't feel like you're real. You may even feel like when you look in the mirror, you don't recognize yourself. And then identity confusion or alteration. Identity confusion is when you're disconnected. Sometimes you're being extremely thrill-seeking, but that's really something that's aversive to you. And so there's like this disconnect in two parts of yourself. And the second one is alteration, where you may have a sense of completely markedly separate parts of your personality that aren't connected. Addressing dissociation you can do in a whole lot of ways, but I think the first and foremost way to consider is to do things that are grounding in nature. So for instance, touching something with an interesting texture and feeling it and taking it in, or putting your feet on the ground and feeling the grass underneath your feet, or being aware of your feet touching the ground at all, or smelling something like a fragrance or something that kind of brings you into that sense of smell, or squeezing a stress ball, or placing some kind of ice or cold material on your back to help bring you back, or naming things that you see around you, things that you see, things that you hear, things that you smell, naming your age, naming where you are, anything that brings you back to the current experience.